Advanced Studio Classroom is on the air. This is your window on the world. Thanks for joining us today as we continue our lesson on tips to keep our heart healthy. We're glad to join you here in our advanced class. I am Doris, and we have with us today...
Hi, my name is Luke.
And I'm Linda.
And we were here yesterday, and we said we'd come back, and here we are.
Yes, here we are.
It's a pleasure to be here, Doris.
Linda, did you ride your bike to work today?
I did. I ride my bike every day.
That's
gladly.
Good. That's good. I love bike riding, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It's very, it's a good form of exercise, and just if you want a leisure ride around the park.
I like swimming, but it's kind of hard to swim to work since we don't live by a river, you know. But swimming is a good exercise, too.
It definitely is.
Especially a summer exercise, isn't it? You know,
keep you cool.
Exercise is important, isn't it?
Very important.
So why are we talking so much about our heart? Is it very important to us, Luke?
Oh, well, our hearts are, yes, very important. If we don't have our hearts, then we can't live.
We need our brains, but we need our hearts. We need both. They're pretty important.
Yeah.
And you might need your brain to study this lesson, but you need your heart to be healthy. So open up your magazine to pages 24 and 25. And what did we mention mostly yesterday that was important, Linda?
Well, we talked about the risk factors that we can reduce to prevent heart disease.
Right. We can do something about it. Now, why is it so important? I mean, is it really a big deal?
Yes, it is.
Why?
Well, so many people die from heart attack, and it's a very common disease.
Every 30 seconds in America, somebody dies. I don't know about Asia, but, you know, it's better not to know maybe. It's kind of scary. But really, we often hear people who have heart attacks and strokes and high blood pressure, and we don't want to get those things. Can we do anything about it, Linda, or do we just have to accept it?
No, we definitely can do something about it, and those are the things that we're talking about yesterday and what we're going to be talking about today.
That's true. You know, I was so glad to find out yesterday that 70% of heart disease can be prevented if we are careful. That's good news.
Oh, definitely good news. That means a lot of us, well, we have a chance.
That's right. And so young or old, whatever it is, there's some things, and there are some risk factors. There are some things that make it easier for us to get heart trouble. What's number one?
Smoking.
Smoking and diet, right?
Yeah.
All these things, right?
High blood pressure,
high blood
cholesterol.
pressure, right. And so we don't want to have all these kind of things. And we can't maybe get rid of all of the problems, but we can reduce the risk. So let's do that.
Exactly. Let's control what we can control. I mean, there's some things that we can't, like family history. You know, we can't do anything about that. But we can still do our part to reduce the risk.
You can say, my father smoked, my grandfather smoked. You don't have to. You can control it. Can you eat more fruits and vegetables?
Yes.
Maybe you don't like them, but eat them anyway. And maybe you can make them more tasty. Didn't you think so, Linda?
Yes,
Try. Right.
can.
Well, what else do we have to do besides what we eat? And we have to do what else?
Move.
Right. And when you're running or moving or biking, I think that also helps your stress level so you don't worry so much. Don't you think so, Lou?
That's right.
Do you like the exercise?
Well, actually, I do. I know a lot of people, they prefer not to move, I think because of laziness. But actually, if you do exercise it's good for, I suppose, your mental state as well. You think clear. And
that's true, yeah. I don't think it's only laziness because in the past there were not quite so many people and so many cars on the street and there's more parks. And, you know, when the weren't so many people in the world, it was easier to go out and walk in the garden or in the park or something. But now because it's so congested and the traffic is bad, you stay home. So I think that has something to do with it, don't you, Linda?
Yeah, people are maybe less encouraged or a little discouraged to go out. Yeah, and face all of those things.
But you have to do it anyway, right?
Yeah. Once you get used to it, then it becomes easier. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So those are some good things we can think about. And these tips will help us a little bit so we can reduce these risk factors. And we're going to find out some things today. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, but today on page 25, we're going to talk about some of the things that have to do with keeping our hearts healthy. And it says over here, there's two of them here about moving and knowing what the symptoms are. So let's find out a little bit more today. Are you all ready for today?
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's read number 6 and number 7, and then we will discuss them together.
Six, move. The evidence is overwhelming that exercise reduces the risk of heart attack, stroke, congestive heart failure, and other types of heart conditions, says cardiologist James de Lamas. Even if the individual is overweight or obese, improving your fitness level markedly improves the prognosis and outcomes for people with heart disease. Strive for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. You can even break it up into 3 10-minute segments. 7. Remember that heart attack symptoms are wide-ranging. Most heart attacks begin with slow symptoms that increase gradually. Chest pain, for instance, may spread to the neck, jaw, or arm and be accompanied by nausea, shortness of breath, or vomiting.
Well, moving is important, isn't it, Linda?
It is. Yeah, it's something that we can do to help our hearts stay healthy.
Because it reduces the risk of having a heart attack. Now, you can have a heart attack or a stroke or congestive heart failure. They kind of sound a little bit the same, but they're a little bit different.
Right. A heart attack, a stroke. Now, this congestive heart failure, well, that is...
That's really bad.
Yeah. If there's too much blood or other liquid in your heart.
So congestive heart failure means there's the blood just going. And there's other kind of heart conditions, so the doctor can tell you what they are. But exercise is important to keep these things from happening.
Right. It reduces the risk of all of these heart conditions, all right? Whether it's heart attack, stroke, or congestive heart failure, exercise will help you.
Well, sometimes, because you're overweight. Now, a lot of people are overweight. That's bad. But there's something even worse than being overweight. And what's that?
That's being obese.
What is the difference in being overweight or being obese? They both start with an O.
Right. Obesity is more extremes. That's when you have more than 30% body fat. All right. Overweight, it's less than that number.
Okay.
But still, both are
They're
not
both dangerous.
good for your heart, and your
You
health.
start out by being overweight, then you become obese more.
Progressively.
So you have to do something about it, right? So you have to improve your fitness level. It says markedly means so that it's noticeable. And then it talks about the prognosis here. That kind of sounds like a medical term to me.
It is. It's basically like... well, a doctor would examine you.
Yeah.
And it's a judgment, the doctor's judgment of the likelihood or expected development of a disease.
So he analyzes it and says, this is probably it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a survey, I suppose.
Or an assessment.
Or assessment.
An assessment,
right.
Yeah. So he'll tell you what the likelihood of, your recovery, the chances of your recovery, or, and we always hope it's positive, right? That there's a chance for us to
Well, you might not
overcome
even
a
need
disease.
the doctor if you get more exercise, because it says down here that you should strive that means to try very hard. Don't just say, oh, maybe. Yes, I'm going to strive. How many minutes a day?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Oh, that seems too long. But you can break it up, can't you?
That's right.
Oh, I don't have 30 minutes. Well, you have 30 minutes to eat, right?
Right,
You have 30 minutes to do other things. So break it up. Okay, 10 minutes at morning, 10 minutes at noon, 10 minutes at night. Break it up.
Yeah, 10 minutes isn't long.
No. 30 kind of seems long, but if you're on a bike trip, it's okay. But, for exercise, you could do it noon, do 10 minutes.
Right.
We say, talk in English 10 minutes every day. Exercise 10 minutes 3 times a day.
Yes.
That's a good idea. Well, these heart attack symptoms, some people say, how do I know? I've asked some of my friends who've had heart trouble, how did it feel? What are the symptoms? How do we know?
Well, it might start off slowly. It might not be so apparent, but you have to pay attention to these symptoms. For example, chest pain, right? It can start in one part of the body and then spread to other parts. Like it can spread to your neck, jaw or arm, and
then you can have nausea. What is nausea?
It's when you feel like vomiting,
Yeah.
like you feel sick.
Well, sometimes people I feel like vomiting. You think, maybe I ate something I shouldn't eat. There's a lot of things that cause you to vomit, right?
Oh, yeah. There was one time I actually went jogging, and I experienced nausea afterwards because I found out that I wasn't intaking enough water.
Oh, you didn't drink enough, huh?
Right, so I was dehydrated.
I see. And we don't think about all that, do we? Yeah, it's good to think about that, right? Well, in shortness of breath, all of a sudden, I have a hard time breathing.
Yeah, if you have difficulty breathing.
That's one thing, yeah. Or if you start vomiting.
Yeah. So be aware of these symptoms.
You said, maybe it's your heart. Maybe you better check it out. Now, we're not trying to scare you. Kind of a little scary, but we have to be a little bit scared or we won't do anything about it, right? We have to scare ourselves a little bit. So 10 minutes, 3 times a day, and then you don't have to worry about it too much. I think that's important, don't you?
I do.
So that's kind of the evidence that you might be having some trouble with your heart. It happens more than once. You say, oh, it happened 3 times. You better check it out.
Yeah, go see a doctor.
Better check it out. See a doctor.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes women have problems that men don't and so forth. Let's read number 8 and number 9. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Eight. If you're a woman, symptoms may also include the following: severe unexplained fatigue, pain or burning in the back, arm, or even wrist, jaw pain. Cardiologist Sarah Saman says, even the sensation of a tight bra band may be a symptom of a blocked artery. Parikh also cautions people with diabetes to watch for such symptoms. 9. Follow through with rehab. If you've had a heart attack, do what you're supposed to do afterward. That may sound obvious, but in the last 30 years, 80% of women didn't, according to a study published in the journal Circulation. The result? Increased rates of hospital readmission and increased deaths during the year after the cardiac episode.
Yeah, so if you're a woman, there are certain symptoms you need to look out for. And one includes severe unexplained fatigue.
Well, don't men get tired too? I think. Do you ever feel kind of tired all of a sudden? Or not, Luke?
I do, to be honest.
I mean, men too, but I don't know why women more than men.
Well, it says specifically severe unexplained fatigue.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe other types of fatigue can be explained.
Yeah,
right,
maybe
for
you've
men.
been working hard and you've been carrying a lot of heavy boxes or something, so you might feel that way. But women, all of a sudden, you feel tired. You say,
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel tired.
Extremely
Unexplained.
tired.
Maybe that's it, yeah. Or all of a sudden your arm hurts or your wrists or even your jaw. Whoever thought of your jaw?
Yeah.
I don't associate that with my heart, do you?
No, I don't.
Isn't that strange?
It
Wow,
is.
this is a scary article. But they said this. Sometimes you have to be careful. And even some of the clothes that we wear, like our brassieres and things like that, seems like all of a sudden they're too tight. Well, maybe there's something in your heart that's kind of squeezing or something. I don't know.
Right. That sensation of a tight bra band, it could be a symptom of
your
a blocked
artery. So when your arteries are blocked, that means that the blood is not going through your heart. Now, your arteries take the blood to the heart and then clean it and back and forth. And they're very important. Now, what clogs our arteries is what they call it plaque, right?
Yes, the plaque.
Yeah, plaque is just kind of like gummy stuff or something on there. Instead of an empty thing flowing through, it's like it's all clogged up. Just like the sewer pipes. If they're not running, the stuff can't go through or something. Exactly. So you don't want to clog your arteries, right?
We want our arteries and our blood vessels to be free of any type of plaque or blockage.
It shows, that we are very wonderfully made, that we're made so that our blood can go through our body and it can get cleaned and go back. And it's just wonderful. But we got to be sure it doesn't get clogged. Yeah. Just like anything that's clogged. If it stops, it doesn't work anymore. Right. So if you have diabetes, you have to be very careful that all of a sudden you don't feel like you have some pain someplace.
Yeah.
I think this might scare some people, and it's good to be aware, though.
Right. Yeah. It's very important to be aware. Right. And not be paranoid, but to know these symptoms. And
well, if that happens to you, what do you have to follow through with what?
Well, with rehab.
Rehab is rehabilitation, right?
That's right. Right. So this word to rehabilitate, it's to return someone or something to a good or healthy condition.
To what they used to be before, huh?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, what if you've had a heart attack? Then, of course, you do what you're supposed to do. I mean, do what the doctor says, right?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times people avoid seeing a doctor or they avoid going to the clinic.
Dentists and doctors.
Right. Because they're afraid of perhaps pain or
bad news.
Bad news, right. And they think they don't need it, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, it says here that it might be obvious that you should do that, but they said 80% of the women didn't do that, it said. Wonder why they didn't. They just afraid that they might say something. Maybe you got cancer. And I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, well, most of us don't want to get bad news, right? No. Or we don't want to worry about what could be wrong with us.
Well, that's true, yeah. So then what happens? Well, you got to go back to the hospital, and it's too late because you've already let yourself go. And you've had what we call a cardiac episode. Episode sounds to me like a story or something, but it's another chapter, another event. Right. Your heart has acted up again. Wow. Right. You don't want to have any cardiac episodes, do you?
No.
So if the doctor says to do something, you do it, right?
Right.
Follow up.
Yeah. Take the necessary steps to prevent it from happening.
Isn't it? Okay, well, we've got 2 more things to talk about, so let's read them first.
10. You can pass a stress test and still have coronary artery disease. The test generally detects a heart blockage only when it is serious enough to limit the flow of blood through an artery, Saman says. That usually means a 70% blockage or worse. So a normal stress test will not get you off the hook regarding future risk for heart disease. Letting your doctor know what's happening to your body is imperative, she says. 11. Even if you think you're healthy, you still need a physical. We've all heard of people who ate right and exercised regularly, but who ended up dropping dead of a heart attack. Annual checkups should include blood work, blood pressure tests, and a basic discussion with your doctor about your family history and lifestyle to make absolutely certain your risk is as low as possible.
Well, they have a lot of tests that they do nowadays, and they do have what they call stress tests to see whether you're, overdoing it and so forth, and find out if you have any disease with your arteries. And when do they do those tests usually?
Well, usually when someone, I suppose, has a suspicion of a heart blockage.
It seems like the blood's not flowing or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or you could do it in your annual examination when you go to the doctor.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
And if they have kind of a blockage, then that means 70% is pretty bad. That means, of course, if 70% of your blood can't go through, that would be very dangerous, wouldn't it?
Oh, extremely dangerous.
Yeah. So you take a stress test, but it says if you take a test, they say, oh, you're okay, you're not too stressed out. But that might not be the end. It might not get you off the hook. That's a very good expression to get somebody off the hook, isn't it?
Right. So if you're off the hook, then you've escaped a difficult situation. So you've gotten out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do it. So you said, wow, I don't have heart trouble. Hey, don't be too sure. You're not really off the hook yet.
Right.
Let your doctor know what's happening and tell your doctor. And don't be afraid. Oh, if I tell my doctor, he might. Tell him, right?
Yeah. It's important for the doctor to know. That way, the doctor has a better understanding of what's going on.
Right. I mean, he can test a lot of things, but you need to tell him how you feel, too, don't you?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. It says it is imperative, and imperative means that it's essential, very, very important.
But, sometimes we think, well, I'm healthy and I feel fine. Why do I need a physical? Don't a lot of people feel that way? I feel like that sometimes. Am I healthy? Why do I need a physical? Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, I do. Like, why should I take the trouble, to go
Time and everything, and I'm
hospital,
okay.
yeah.
Do you ever feel like that, Lou?
Yeah, definitely.
I think a lot of people do, don't they?
Yeah.
So what should we tell ourselves about that then? Let's tell each other that.
Still do it.
Yeah, we need to do it. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because, we exercise and things like that. But some people, I've heard of people who they exercise and they eat well, and you heard that they died of a heart attack. I can't believe it, because they ate healthy and everything, because they probably didn't get enough checkups, do you think?
Yeah, they probably, they never saw it coming, because they thought they were living in a healthy lifestyle.
They didn't know that they had that plaque and stuff in there.
Right.
So it's better to get a health checkup, isn't it?
So there are things that we might not be able to tell ourselves, right, if we're not paying attention.
So they say annual. So usually they suggest that everybody get a good annual checkup. Now, what would that include in the annual checkup?
Well, it would include blood work, blood pressure tests, and a basic discussion with the doctor about family history and such.
Okay, and your lifestyle. He might ask you, do you rest enough or do you get enough exercise and so forth? And probably the doctor will. When you have these healthy checkups, does your doctor ask you a lot of that?
Yeah, and questions about lifestyle, my eating habits, because all of those contribute.
Get your rest, you sleep well.
Important.
Or how much you exercise.
And how much you exercise, right. Now, the doctor can help you, but you can help yourself, too. You can eat well, you can do all these things, but still check. So it's a combination. You cannot just count on only the doctor or only yourself. Don't you think it's a combination here?
I do, yeah. So you have to make sure you cover all your bases.
So I think this will probably be kind of a warning to us that all of us, we think, well, I'm pretty healthy. I'll wait until I get sick. Should we do that?
Well, no, not necessarily.
All the doctors get ready. All the student classroom people are going to sign up tomorrow. We should, though, because it's good to have a check, because we can't really see the inside. And it's wonderful, all the machines we have nowadays that can see inside and can scan us. They didn't used to have that. So we have to take advantage of that, don't we?
Exactly.
And there's so many good places you can get that done. So all of you, even if you think you're healthy, what should you do?
Well, live a healthy lifestyle. Eat right.
And
exercise.
and check up.
Yep. See a
Did you have
doctor.
an annual
Get a checkup.
checkup?
I will.
Me too. Okay. What about you, Luke?
Oh, same here. I should
Okay.
probably see my dentist too.
Yeah, that's right. But it's kind of good to be healthy and keep your health. And this way, it will be easier for you to have a good lifestyle. Your family will be happy. Everybody will be. And we want to enjoy life.
Right.
I don't think we can enjoy life when we're sick or have strokes and blood. So let's do what we can and use these tips. I think they're very good tips.
Yes, they are. And you can share them with other people as well.
Yes, they're extremely practical.
That's right. So read them over, underline the important things, and remember that many people do die from heart attacks. Don't say, I won't. Don't say that. Just be smart. Live smart.
Yes.
Eat smart. Yeah.
Exactly.
And, of course, keep your mind active by studying advanced with us. That's always important.
Yes.
Send us any suggestions you have, and you can look at our QR code or write us some things that we can put on the web because we want to help each other have a good life together. And so don't take yourself off the hook. Be sure to do something, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Don't wait until it's too late.
That's right. So thanks for being with us, all of you. And keep healthy, keep your heart healthy, and keep happy. And be sure that you have a good lifestyle and a good life wherever you are. So we'll say goodbye for now.
Bye.
Goodbye.